Okay, so you need to measure out whatever amount of liver you've decided on as a group. You'll put it on a piece of foil or wax paper. Make sure to tear it first. So you zero it out and you put the pieces of liver. The sugar, this scissor goes back in the bin. You don't want to lay it on the table. So I'm using 3 grams here. Right, so once you have your 3 grams or whatever grams you've decided on, you want to increase the surface area of the liver so that there is more enzyme available to react with the hydrogen peroxide. We're looking at catalase. So you're just going to use this scissor to cut the liver into small pieces, as small as possible. Okay, once they're cut into smaller pieces than that, you're going to take your cleaned test tube and you put the liver into the test tube. Okay, you're going to use the glass rod to push it down to the bottom. If you're doing temperature, you're not putting the thermometer in this. You're going to put it in either the cold or the hot water bath. So you would measure the temperature of the container that you're going to put these in. Make sure that they're in for at least 3 minutes. Okay, you'll do that with all however many test tubes and trials that you've decided. Make sure you put these dirty things back in that cup so they don't contaminate the table. If you are using acid or base, depending on how much you have decided to use of the acid or the base, the pipettes are calibrated. So this is hydrochloric acid, and I decided to use 1 milliliter to press the bulb, and then when it gets to the 1 millimeter, it's okay if there's air bubbles, it'll be put into that. The volume's correct. You're going to put it into your liver test tube. Make sure that you put the correct pipette back in. You can also use this to make sure that the acid gets on everything. At this point, you want to make sure that you rinse off the rod, but you would also take the time to do a pH test strip. So these are pH test strips. You have the rod with the material, and you're going to okay, so you're just looking to get it on this little square. See that's changing color? So this is a hydrochloric acid. You can see that the pH is 1. Okay, throw this out, rinse out the rod before you put it back in because it would contaminate the base that you're using. And at this point you would use add your hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. Again, these have calibrated pipettes, but you might want to be using 3 or 4 milliliters. These are only up to 2 milliliters, so you can use your graduated cylinder. Make sure to measure it at eye level. I'm using 4 milliliters. Try not to exceed 5 milliliters, just because the foam goes over. And then you'll add it to the liver mixture. And remember, we're looking at enzymatic activity by measuring the amount of foam. Remember to measure it in centimeters, or in this case, This is 4 millimeters or 0.4 centimeters. Okay. You'd measure it at time 0 and whatever other times your group decided. Once this is done, this goes in the garbage. If it gets stuck, you want to make sure that the liver is completely out. You're going to rinse it once. Please, no liver in the sink. Okay. Once you rinse it, you take some dish detergent, you put a few drops in there. Use a test tube brush, clean it out. Okay. And then you rinse the test tube and the brush, please. And you put your test tube upside down in the rack. There's little holders for that. And make sure you clean up all your mess before you take off your gloves.